Beth and I kind of were partners, her being tourism, me being economic development director, and we shared a building and we always shared ideas. I walked up in her office one day, and I don't remember the exact time, but I remember the conversation. Randy, she said, I got this thing I want to talk to you about, the Neon Park. Well, what's a neon park? She described her vision to me, and wow, that was like the light bulb went off. I just knew her vision was a vision worth sharing, and would come to pass. And here we are, it did, but it's a long, hard journey.
So this project began many, many years ago. I was attending the Road Ahead conference in Anaheim, California. During one of the sessions presented by Jim Toll, he happened to mention that the Route 66 Association would love to see a neon park in Missouri. And at that moment, it hit me immediately. After the session ended, I ran up to the room, called my husband, and I'm like, babe, I'm not calling you later tonight. I've got a man to stock at a banquet. Ran up to him as he grabbed his chair at the table. I grabbed mine and said, is anyone sitting here? He's like, nope. And I said, I'm Beth Wiles, Pulaski County Tourism Bureau. And I held out my name tag and he said, George M. Reed Roadside Park. And we discussed this particular location, but at the time the city of St. Robert was looking at building a fire department in this vicinity. So I had also presented 4 other locations throughout Pulaski County. The gentlemen were like, no, we are really wanting the George M. Reed Roadside Park. I said, all right, let's go visit with the city. Well, with this type of idea, many people need you to show them a vision. And so I reached out to an architect and she created a rendering of what the vision was. And we presented that to the St. Robert City Council. At the time, they did not want to take on the project, but they encouraged the project to move forward.
The first thing we did was form an association, a group, a non-for-profit for fundraising. We started identifying the expenses. You know, as time went on, it seemed like the cost got greater and our fundraising was just limited. You know, we were limited on what we could do. She wrote, I don't know how many grants, you know, to all the major corporations, and I never saw anybody more persistent with a project. I mean, she just was a bulldog. One grant after another, after another, after another. Let me call the mayor, see if he has any ideas. And I called the mayor, the previous mayor, and I said, we can't go any further. You know, we just got denied our last grant. We just didn't want to put that burden on the city. I said to the mayor, I said, do you guys want to take this over? He said, yeah, we'll take it over. They had the buy-in. You know, over the time, they said, you know what, this is not, I think, what we first thought. We can see what this is going to become. The Route 66 Association, they had quite a few of the signs in their inventory. And a lot of the signs we picked up locally. Several of the signs, modern cabins, the Skyline Garage.
One of the beautiful things about this is a lot of these signs were here locally in this town. So folks from the area are very familiar with some of these signs, and which makes it even better.
We were trying to track down signs at the time. We was hoping to find Jody's Cafe sign, which I did hear it was in Waynesville, but we've never tracked it down. So Mr. Bassett said, well, I have a sign. And I said, what is it? He said, I don't know. You can go look at it. And it was actually a porcelain sign, and it came from Old Courts. So that's how that sign come available, the modern cabin sign. That was the first sign we had that started the Neon Park. That modern cabin's our first sign. I know there's still some sitting around here in the barns and attics and basements, and when you can preserve anything like this, it's wonderful for Route 66 and the community. I'm pretty sure Jody's is still around here somewhere, but I just haven't found it yet.
The Neon Park that intersects the Route 66 that goes through St. Robert kind of establishes the Mother Road, and it brings that iconic route that most travelers that grew up with Route 66 understand, and the neon signs just bring that back to them as their memories that they had driving on Route 66 back in the day.
Learning about the history of the signs, I got to know a lot of different people. I've got to hear their stories. It just doesn't get any better than that. You know?